So as you saw, my videos choked on things. So let's try this again. I'll show the slides that had videos. This was the one where I was talking about buzz pollination, and I thought I at least ought to show you somebody who's buzzing. There's some really good videos on of buzzing pollinators. Smithsonian has a good one about tomato. I'll try and post a link to that. These are on verbascum, some Bombus impatiens working in tandem. It's a different geometry of the anthers, but nonetheless, you can perhaps even hear them buzzing the anthers to knock the pollen loose. And so that's an important way for some plants to get the pollen out. Let's see here now. If I press this button and scroll through here to my next video. Yeah, there was this one here. It's not a big deal, but I'll show it anyhow. So this is to show that although all of these rose family plants have really similar flowers, even this spirea here, the visitation to these is the bee will visit one flower and go to the next and to the next. But with spirea, because the flowers are all close to the way that things are set up, it conduces to this. These bumblebees can just sort of scrabble around. They're sort of scraping the pollen on their bodies, and the faster they move and the more they vibrate, the better they get it. It's not quite buzz pollination, but it's a sort of a Scrabble pollination. And then I moved right from that into talking about the mints. I will not repeat that, except to say it's a really cool group. And then contrast the rose and the mint mechanism. So here's a nice video that I bumped into that's sort of directly relevant to this. So if you look at a standard visit to a standard rose flower, very different than with the spirea, but this tiny bee is just grabbing pollen from each anther individually, and this honeybee sort of just scrambling around over everybody. But let's look at what happens when they visit a mint. So look at that. There's something interesting going on that's very different. See how the bilateral symmetry forces the bees to visit one way, and when it goes in, the anthers move. Watch, down they come. This is a movement that is powered by the bee and not by the flower. And so when the bee comes in, here's a pretend bee with just a stem of grass, and you can see it's hitting part of the flower that pushes the anthers down. It's a lever, literally a lever. And so here's the bee, she gets her in position and pushes it down. Now she's got pollen on her back. Wouldn't have got there if it was a smaller bee who couldn't push in to get deep down where the nectar is. And a bigger bee, it would hit a different part of the bee. But you can see the stigma, the female part up here is in position. So when the bee sort of zooms through, it'll scrape a little pollen onto it. Doesn't need many of them. There's only 4 seeds that each fruit can make. So that's that video I wanted to show. And then I showed this, and let me zip out of here. And then I'll show this one, even though it's not going to do a whole lot for you, because it's largely, you can see the time lapse. I just love time lapse. The pollen's getting pushed out of each of the individual florets within this here. And if you go to that link at the bottom of the page from indefensive plants, just Google indefensive plants and aster flower. You'll be able to get that. Because there's if you link onto the original one, it's a much longer and really a quite nice video by someone else. So with the pea family plants, I had a couple of videos I wanted to show. And so in some circumstances, the flowers are just tubes, basically, and the bee scrapes across the pollen and the stigma. But this is different. In lupins, here's in my front yard just a couple of days ago, you can see this bee's doing something different. It's pushing down. There's some movement. Oops, car scared him. Push down, push down. There. Oops, that was a little one. And now a couple more. See how she's gathering the pollen and scrabbling around. She's moving the pollen into her pollen baskets. She's getting pollen, but she's really fast. And she's pumping these flowers. And so let's look in here. So what would happen if I go in and try to do this myself? I'm not a bee, but I'll do the best. Oh, I've got a little more time here. It's always fun to see them. That car didn't scare her at all. Oh, maybe a little. Okay, so now we'll go to the next one. So I'll come in with a pencil. and try to manipulate. So see, there's that keel we talked about, little dark part, and there's orange coming out the tip of it. Let's do another one. Pump, pump, and more orange sort of squirts out like a ribbon. And then this one here, it's a little younger flower, so there's not as much pollen, but it gets all primed, and now out comes the pollen. So if you zoom, and then I zoomed in to show you all the cool things that are inside that allow that to happen. Oh, and then I wanted to show this next one. I'll try and narrate. I turned off the narrations from PBS, but PBS did a great job. You should definitely go just Google the bee that gets smacked in the face for your ice cream. That's an alfalfa flower. You see this honeybee's not going the way you're supposed to. There's the banner. She's way up top. She's trying to avoid the keel for some reason. And when you look in here, so here's that keel, and that's where all the reproductive parts are. And she was coming in from the top, still going for the center where there's a little bit of a nectar guide there. And so let's see what's going on with the keel petal. If we push down on it, pop, the whole column of reproductive parts moved from being down here up there, spring loaded. So let's let that happen naturally. Bam. That's a lot of force. And it's really going to put a lot of pollen on the underside of any bee that comes in the straightforward direction. So let's look at honeybees hate that, but let's look at this leafcutter bee. Puts her in, and there's the column. It popped up. We'll do this on the same one. Watch, and you'll pop. I can't get the timing right. But the honeybees, you see, is trying to move. This is called side working. She's getting the nectar, but she's not going to be doing any pollination. So this is why honeybees are not such good pollinators of alfalfa, and leafcutter bees are. And then she'll take it home to her nest. And that's the end of that video. And I believe, yeah, that's all the videos I had to show. I apologize for them not being back where they belonged, but I had a half a gig sized file, and I think PowerPoint just choked on all those videos. So I hope that worked for you. Thanks for your attention.